Just 3 weeks after the highly anticipated Fortress update, Sulfur has released another big update in SULFUR Power. And there's some major changes to the game that are very welcome by every single person in the community. If there's somebody who didn't like the things in this update, go play a different game. Like, I don't know what to tell you. This update was amazing. At some point during this video, I will get into spoilers for this update, but I will warn you right before it happens. Until then, I'm going to do my best to not spoil anything so that you can experience it on your own if you want, but you still want to know exactly what's in the patch notes and things that might not be in the patch notes that have been seen. I mean, the biggest, grandest elephant in the room has to be the fact that we now have 4 new melee weapons, which is nuts because they didn't give any indication it was coming. There was a couple of bugs in the past, like you used to be able to rank up your sword. If you don't have any guns on you, for some reason, the sword will rank up. Maybe that means eventually we'll have different attributes for melee weapons or even enchanting them. I don't know what that is or if they ever had something in place for that. That was weird, but they patched that out pretty quickly after people started noticing it. So this felt kind of perfectly random in the best way possible. I could have sworn they also mentioned it during the interview I had with them, but I can't say for certain. I'd have to go back and look. Are there any game mechanics that you're working on or plan to work on that we might see? Like, for example, like melee items instead of just the sword, armor enchantments, or maybe even fishing?
Funny you should ask.
we kind of have some plans for that. We want to do like something with that. Yeah, we haven't technically implemented anything yet, but we have design ideas
for the melee parts. Not fishing, at least not yet.
I'll get into exactly what new melee weapons were added in just a bit, but for now, let's keep going. People have had grievances with hedge maze through castle since the beginning of early access, not wanting to play through dungeon in order to get to castle. Well, with the new shortcut added, you no longer have to do that. This definitely feels like one of those things that me personally, I didn't really think I needed, but once it showed up, I was like, yeah, let's go, man. This is awesome. I don't really mind playing through dungeon. I think it's fun to speed run, and I think it's also fun to just play in general, and plus the soundtrack in dungeon, it almost doesn't get better than that. Nonetheless, I did end up abusing this shortcut quite a bit during this patch. If you were like me when the update actually dropped, you were closing out Sulfur, and you noticed the achievement said something crazy, 49. I wasn't expecting it. This is completely out of the blue. This is such a rapid pace for updates. This is exactly what they promised they were going to do, and they're really doing it. I'm not saying to expect them to continue to update the game this rapidly. That's kind of hard to do, especially when bugs crop up with every update, but this is a very, very welcome surprise. I mean, it's not like we were waiting that long between updates usually anyways. It was about a month for a while, and then there was a bigger gap, and then it went back down to a month. Now we're down to like 3 weeks. I don't know. We could have another update tomorrow, and this whole video is screwed. Please don't do that. With 49 achievements, you've got a lot to do if you enjoy that kind of completionist vibe in a game. This is great for the people that like that. Me personally, I'm not crazy about it, but I will go after them because I play this game all the time, and eventually I'll get to a point where I've done everything again, and I'll be forced to have to get those achievements because there is only Sulfur and my family and like energy drinks and stuff. And what I would argue to be the second biggest addition in this patch would be the weapon racks. Everyone, including myself, has been bitching and moaning why we haven't had new storage upgrades with every update when we get a new area like Forest and Fortress. This kind of rectifies that a little bit. This kind of fixes that issue because these aren't your average ordinary storage upgrades. These are visual and you get to display things on them. They could have gone the easy route with this and just let the guns lie wherever or only have like 1 gun per rack, but instead it's a huge amount of guns you can have. You can move them around, put them exactly how you want, and it even shows the attachments and everything. It's a really awesome system. Once again, closing in on that cozy vibe for Sulfur. I no longer feel as insane, and I'm hoping for fishing minigames and a farming minigame very, very soon.
But we talked about fishing since like, we had the first prototype of the game, but it also like makes no sense. Like it's such a simple thing that of course you want fishing.
I honestly can't tell you why this game feels so damn cozy to me, but I'm sure there are other people out there that also get that vibe. It's the church, I think. I love that this patch is allowing me to make it more homely and add my own little twist to it. Everyone's church will now be different from anyone else. Just like the melee weapons, I'm gonna wait to spoil additional information on the weapon racks in case you haven't found them yourself. So 3 out of 4 of these have been highly requested by the community community since Sulfur came into early access. And the achievement one, I'm sure some people were requesting it as well, but I think more people were focused on better gameplay and better mechanics, and that's what you should strive for in early access anyways. That's why you do early access, if you're doing it the right way, so you can gauge the player base and see what they think the game needs, because they're the ones who are playing it. And that's exactly what they're doing. I'm not giving anybody a lecture. I'm just so impressed with Sulfur right now. Alongside those additions, we also got some fixes and improvements, and I'm going to speak on the ones that kind of jump out to me, just like we did with the Fortress video. If you're a big texture head and visual glitch kind of person, those interest you when they're fixed, go through the patch notes. Do that on your own, because I don't think talking about Z fighting is that interesting. Just go check it out. It's good that they're there though, and I'm happy they're telling us when they fix those things. I don't want them to go away. It's just more of like a, how much can I riff off of that? Not much. Apparently at some point we got a quick transfer for chests with your ammo and your sulf coin, and I guess all you have to do is hold down left click instead of tapping it over and over again. I've always just been a tapper. I wasn't aware that this was a feature, but I guess there was a fix to make it so it works for both sulf coin and ammo, so that's good for those that were aware that it was in the game. I had to be told it was there. I didn't know. Must have come in an update, or I was just always too stupid to not hold down left click. So for me, it's almost like I'm getting an additional new mechanic of this patch. I bet you're jealous of my ignorance. I didn't notice it because I got a bunch of moolah, but apparently gun insurance was raising the price of repair costs, and that sucks. It's no longer doing that. Hat boxes, which might be the name for armor chests, I'm assuming, no longer duping loot when you walk away from them. I heard of a lot of people having that bug and absolutely exploiting the hell out of it for currency. I don't blame you. I never really did it. I was just kind of, I'm always like, as fast as I can get out of an area and kill everything is best for me. I don't typically go backwards. That's apparently how the duping worked. Go far enough away and then turn around, go back to where you picked up the loot from a chest, it would be spawned again. It's a very easy dupe glitch, to be honest. It's a good thing that they fixed it. Don't get me wrong, I'm sorry that it's fixed. Some of you probably love those exploits. The Salamander and the Taylor Marksman both got some looks at for their spread. Apparently the Taylor Marksman was having spread issues, and the Salamander got a nice little buff. I'd like to be civil with you with how I address the final thing that jumped out to me in the patch notes, because I do have not strong opinions on it. I don't really care. I'm also not in favor of games doing this in a PvE environment, and it's the add damage oil being nerfed from 25 to 15. I don't know why they felt the need to do that. Personally, when it's a single player game, there's no competitive edge to it. If I can choose to use something knowing it's strong, I think that's fine. I can always nerf myself. You might remember when the Aftershock was absurdly powerful at the beginning of early access. Most people didn't use it on every single run. That's not very fun for variety. We just kind of controlled ourselves to make runs a little bit more challenging. We actually got another patch just this morning, and they kind of do this a lot right after major patches. They come out with a patch that addresses some fixes that were noticed right away. Maybe they're easier to fix, or they were currently working on them when that patch came out. There's nothing too crazy on here. Couple things I want to mention. For one, I did notice there were some boxes that couldn't be broken by the new melee weapons in Fortress, and I was getting kind of frustrated, like having to shoot boxes like some pleb. They fixed that right away, thankfully. Most of the broken Steam achievements have been fixed with this update, and if you launch Sulfur right now, you should get a bunch popping up. That said, I did notice kill 3,000 enemies is still not working. I've killed well over 3,000 enemies in my YouTube videos alone and streams. Like, there's no way I haven't killed 3,000 enemies in 450 hours. There's just no way. There's also the amulet free achievement, which I've had plenty of runs where I forgot to charge my amulet and escape caves. It's totally doable in places like caves. I don't recommend it, but sometimes I forget, and I've 100% done that many times. It'll be fun to do it again. I have a video on this channel where I did nothing but charm enemies for an entire run. I call it the RTS version of Sulfur, so the Goblin Whisperer achievement should have procced for me as well. It didn't. You're gonna make me prove my love to the goblins once again. Of course, these broken achievements could be tied to each individual person playing the game, and they might be totally random which ones work for you and which ones don't. There's no saying. And that's about it for the patch notes. If you want to read everything, make sure to go do it on Steam. I should have flashed it up at some point to give you some insight on it, but now we're going to get into spoiler territory where I'm going to break down every little secret I found, how to get certain things, yada, so on and so forth. So this whole thing right here is giving you a chance to exit the video if you don't want spoilers, because I'm about to tell you how to get everything. And that's about enough of that shit, because I spent a good 4 or 5 hours this morning finding every single thing, finding strategies to farm the melee weapons. I did find one, by the way, and where the gun racks are and all that shit. And I might have also found a future spoiler for an update that we don't even know about yet, and I'll explain. That one's a kind of a crockpot theory. The 4 new melee weapons we got were the katana, which makes enemies bleed if you hit them with a secondary attack, and that bleed can be very effective. Kind of hard to pull off, but very effective. The sai, which is my personal favorite. I don't know why it seems to work the best when I use it. That just has the standard parry and stun with it, but I kind of feel like it's a little fast. I like the little stabby stab motion of it. You can also reflect 1 bullet back with it, which is pretty sick. You've got the bow staff, which I found like 5 of those, and the nunchucks, which I found like 5 of those. Those seem to be the most common for me, both the bow staff and the nunchucks. The bow staff is cool because you can spin it around in a circle, so that's pretty neat. That's a secondary action. It's also got really good reach. It's big old staff. The nunchucks, I don't like. They're supposed to be used for mostly blocking projectiles coming at you, but I don't really love the motion that you swing them. I don't find them to be that interesting. It might be a skill issue. I'm probably gonna have to work on getting better with those. They seem kind of weird to me, though. If you're having a hard time finding any of these new melee weapons, well, you might remember earlier in the video when I said I was abusing the castle shortcut, because there is a guaranteed spawn, at least for me, 10 out of 10, 100% of the time, a guaranteed spawn of a melee weapon in Castle 1. Not Castle 2, Castle 1. If you've seen it spawn for you 100% of the time in Castle 1, let me know. I think that's what's supposed to be happening, but it could be a bug, or maybe they're gonna patch it if people start farming it. Just farm it right now while you can. Essentially, what happens in Castle 1 is you'll always find one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You heard me correctly. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are officially canon in Sulfur, which is the greatest sentence I've ever said in my life. Next to I ate all the used rubbers. That might actually be the worst sentence I've ever said. You'll find the respective melee weapon next to the corpse of whatever Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle would use it, whether it's Raphael, Donatello, Michelangelo, or Leonardo. Whatever the weapon of choice was in the comics, the TV shows, and movies, that will be what's on the ground next to them, as well as a slice of pizza. And every single time in Castle 1, I literally have not seen it on the ground in any other area. I have searched far and wide. I ran caves 10 fucking times. I used a big boy curse, the F word, because I ran it 10 times. Not once did I see a melee weapon on the ground. Now, I've heard from other people that they've seen them on the ground in other areas. I've also seen screenshots of people finding this TMNT Easter egg in Fortress, so it's just bad RNG for me. But 100% success rate in Castle 1? I don't need RNG for that, bitch. I do think it would be interesting if the default melee weapon, I'm not going to try to pronounce that name. You could tell me a million times in the comments. I'm still just going to call it the damn sword. It would be great if that thing could also have a secondary action to kind of match with the newer ones. But if not, I get it. It's the default gear. It can't be as special. And if it got a secondary action, it would probably be way too similar to the katana, which they both already have a very similar vibe. The katana's better, though, because you can make people bleed. That's about it for the melee stuff, though. If I missed anything, make sure to let me know so that everyone else can know. You put that in the comments, and then we're all aware of whatever information that didn't spew out of my mouth. I actually just remembered one, because I was getting frustrated not being able to find them in sewers or fortress, because I was like, isn't sewers kind of perfect for a TMNT Easter egg? And then fortress is all about melee, kind of. Also, where's the samurai helmet, man? This is the perfect update. Well, the perfect update was fortress. This is the second best update to introduce the samurai helmet. Where the fuck is it, man? That's the second F word. YouTube has already declined monetization on this bitch. Probably not. I curse way more than that in my Let's Play, like the long runs, but whatever. YouTube's weird. You just don't have to curse the first minute or some shit. I don't know. But yeah, I couldn't find any of the dead teenage scumbags in either sewers or fortress. Scumbag's a little weird. I mean, they do save the day frequently. Do you know they disemboweled Shredder in the first issue or something like that? I think it was Shredder. I remember reading that, and that's always been one of my favorite factoids, is like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were messed up at their origin. But you can actually buy the melee weapons from Kiosk in Fortress. In my Fortress video, I wasn't aware of the secret menu that Kiosk had, had until after I had recorded everything, which is unfortunate, but I'm going to show you exactly how to get to it right here. And once you get into that secret menu, you can find at least the nunchucks. I haven't seen anything else, and it's not guaranteed to have the nunchucks, but she will sell the nunchucks to me 2 out of 3 times, so that's pretty good. That could mean Script might have them. Personally, I think Script might be able to spawn anything in his inventory, because that's definitely what it feels like. I find the wildest shit in there sometimes. Stiff Leg also makes sense for another person to sell you melee weapons, but I can't confirm anybody other than Kiosk and her secret menu. It was a little goofy, but I also made sure to check the Chef Grossberg, his secret menu, and there's nothing. Just a bunch of food ingredients. No dolphin meat. Maybe someday. Luckily, acquiring the gun racks is not dependent on RNG. All you have to do to get them is defeat the boss Terror Bomb inside a forest and that spider dude from Wild Wild West at the end of Fortress. Both of those bosses at the very end will give you the gun racks. One for each of them. You don't get both at the same time. You couldn't carry them if you want to. Alright, I lost a dunce cap because of this damn gun rack. I didn't think when I started this run I would be saying goodbye to something that I've had in my inventory for maybe... I can't remember when I picked that up, man. I can't remember when I picked up that dunce cap, dude. And now I'm pretty devastated. But I think the best thing we could do is just forget about it. I'll find another one, dude. I'll find another one. That was on stream, and I was unaware that playing through Fortress was also going to end in a gun rack. And I got a dunce cap like 20 minutes into my session this morning, and I was so happy to get another one back. I just kept it in my inventory like a dumbass, and then I found another gun rack at the end of Fortress, because that's where you get the other one. So now... I'm back to negative dunce caps. But the gun racks are awesome, and I only have to find them once. I'll find another dunce cap. At least it wasn't my damn Sulfurs. At least they're not taking the shoes off my feet with this patch, which they've done before. And like I said, you can change the way the weapons look on the gun rack, which is absolutely awesome. I love that they did that. It gives you the homie vibe, the homie dot. Why wouldn't I love this, man? Sulfur's inching closer and closer to the cozy game that I knew it could be. By the end of 2029, this shit will look no different than Animal Crossing. Remember when I said I might have found a spoiler for a future update, something that we have no clue about? Well, at the end of your Fortress runs, you'll find 2 scrolls that you can combine. So it'll be a light scroll and a fire scroll, therefore teaching you holy fire, stuff like that. I ran it today, and I got a water scroll and a water scroll. This could mean 3 things. Eventually, we'll be able to combine 2 water scrolls to make something good and hopefully usable, although we do have Thunderbolt and everything. It's slush, so water's not completely unusable now. It could also be a bug, and I'm not supposed to get 2 of the same one, or what could easily be the most likely option is they're messing with us by giving us the worst scroll in the game twice, you know, like a haha screw you. Or it's, I don't know. It could be any reason that happened. I'm crossing my fingers in real time. Both of them. Well, all 4 of them. Both hands. 4 fingers. That's how you do a double cross. And yes, I do have Baby Shark Band-Aid, okay? Yesterday, Seb hit me in the book. Hit me in the face. I might have got a concussion, man. That might explain a lot of what this video has been. He hit me in the face with a book, and I started stream with the Baby Shark Band-Aid. Today, I cut my finger on my desk. I don't know how, and it hurt. Really need to buy some different Band-Aids. I don't even like Baby Shark. Is there a kid's cartoon that I like? I don't think so. We Bare Bears. Actually, We Bare Bears, even the baby version, that show's awesome, all right? And my son loves it, so come on. If you haven't seen We Bare Bears, watch that shit. It slaps. Once again, I tricked your silly butt into not realizing that this was a Sulfur summary the entire time. Hopefully, I got this up on Saturday, but with the amount of editing I'm gonna have to do because of the rambling and ranting I've done for this recording section alone, probably not. This will probably come out on Sunday. Obviously, I still haven't been able to stop playing Sulfur. We did hit a Witchfire stream, which is great. All the updates going into that game are also awesome. I played Peak for the first time, too, with my buddy Luminary Toaster and a bunch of other friends. That's a hilarious and fun game. If you want to check that out, it's on the other channel. I might just make it one of the recommended videos at the end of this. We had a great time playing it, and I trolled pretty much everybody, as one would expect of me. I can't get them! I couldn't get them! They're mine! I lost all of my energy bar, bro. Here, you can have the fucking peel, bitch. Oh, shit! Fuck! Nobody's going to want to play multiplayer Sulfur with me if it ever comes out. Nobody's going to want it. But outside of that, I don't really have anything because it's been all Sulfur all the time with 2 updates in less than a month. Who knows what they have planned next? If they just whip out Desert like nothing, I can't say I'd even be surprised at this point. I'm just going to be overly happy with the existence of this game and the way they're approaching early access. I want to give one final good job, one final pat on the back for what they're doing with this game. They're setting a precedent for early access. I personally have not seen another game handle it like this, and it's incredibly impressive. Are they ever going to let me down? And if they do, it's going to be devastating. That's all you're doing right now, is if you let us down, it's going to be devastating. That's a lot of pressure. Why am I doing that to them? They don't deserve that. I got to get out of here. I'm starting to harm people and their thoughts and opinions. It's not good. That's what other YouTubers do, not me. Before we go, I want to give a quick thank you to the members of this channel. Thank you for supporting me and my wife and my son. I really appreciate you guys. You're amazing. Thank you. You don't have to do that, but you do.